Good morning. Good morning. Hope everyone's having a great Tuesday and staying dry. The storm Michael's staying far enough away, but bringing on that cooler weather, so it's nice. We will get started here in about 3 minutes at 8:30. So grab a friend, pull them in to watch and learn. We're going to talk all about Google Drive and how to use it and how to make it effective for your environment and what you do in your daily job. So I'm going to mute the microphone, make sure that you've signed in. If you're on weeklywebinars.palmbeachschools.org, the sign in is just above and below this viewer. Okay, and we'll get started momentarily. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It is time for weekly webinars. It is 8:30. We're going to go ahead and get started. Let's see. So hopefully you've signed in for attendance. So if you're at weeklywebinars.palmbeachschools.org, just above and below, you will see the sign-in sheet. And the word sign-in is actually hyperlinked to the sign-in sheet, not this red one, but the one above and below. So go ahead and click that. A Google form will appear. Put in your credentials real quick, and then we're off to learn. So before we get started, we are going to learn about Google Drive today. As you wiggle your mouse in the bottom right corner, you're going to see the words YouTube. And if you click on the words YouTube, the viewer will open up in a YouTube window and you will be able to see the presentation. But not only that, you'll be able to see that chat window to the right. So you'll be able to participate. Also, in that bottom right corner on the YouTube screen, you'll see a little gear, excuse me, and let me move this over here. So you see that little gear and you can click that. And if you see how it's blurry and kind of looks bad, if you click the gear, you can make it 720 HD, and that will make everything look so much nicer. So hopefully that will help you as well. Let me move that screen back over there. There we go. And now you see one of me instead of two. That should be better. Good. Okay, so my name is Melissa Matthews. I work with the Department of Educational Technology, and I have Tasha Burke here with me today.
Good morning, everybody.
And we are going to present Google Drive to you. So look, I got all that good morning in the chat window. Awesome. Good, Cheryl. I'm glad you got that clarity. Hopefully that screen looks a lot better at the 720 than it does the 420, because that 420 looked pretty bad. So hopefully the 720 is better. I see a lot of people I know. Hi, Nancy. I still owe Nancy a visit. Today I have to run to a school, but maybe tomorrow I can come see you. Dan, glad you made it on time. Okay, so we're going to move on. We're going to learn all about Google Drive. So what in the world is Google Drive? Go ahead and write your definition of what Google Drive is in the chat window. There is about a 7-second delay. So I'm going to pause just a tad to allow you to start typing and chiming in and letting me know what in the world Google Drive is. What's your definition? I have someplace for your docs, a virtual locker. Oh, that's kind of neat. Cloud storage, which can be shared. Okay. Documents in real time that you can share with others. Nice. I like all of those answers are great. I'm going to move on. Storage, Giovanni. Tony wrote free storage attached to your email. I like that. And it is free. I love that part too. So we're moving on. So, I don't know how this is going to work, to be honest with you. We're going to skip this, the video, because in this, well, I'm going to press play and see what happens. Type if you can hear it. And I have Tasha here with headphones. We'll see if you can hear it. I'm going to go ahead and hit play. I don't think you're going to be able to hear it. Yeah, there's no sound. You can't hear it, right? Yeah. Skip. Next. There we go. Sorry, guys. I have to figure out how to make it so that you guys can hear the sound. I thought I heard the sound for half a second. No? Okay. So think of your Google Drive like a filing cabinet in the sky, right? So you don't have to carry around that thumbnail anymore. You don't have to worry about where your file is. It's always in Google Drive. But think about it like a filing cabinet, right? We all had one of those, and when we were in the classroom, or maybe we're still in the classroom, maybe at home for our files and our financial documents and things like that. If we have a drawer for math, I want you to have a folder for math. And maybe in that folder, we have lots of other folders. So maybe one's on algebra, one's on geometry, one's on pre-calc, one's on calc. So just like you would organize your filing cabinet, you're going to organize your Google Drive. But I believe the next screen. Nope, hold on. So, but I will say that because it's Google, you can always search for one word within the document and find whatever it is you're looking at or looking for. So that's a nice feature right there. So know that if it's not organized the way you want it to be, and I have a lot of people going, oh, I'm so unorganized. Don't worry, because you can always, what's it called? You can always search for whatever it is you're looking for and it'll pop right up. So no worries about that. So I have another question for you. Why, oh, why can Google Drive help my job? Or I guess it should be how. But we always want to know the why when we're training, right? And it's going to be different for everyone. I know Nancy is in research and evaluation, so her answer is going to be different than Cheryl Phillips, who I believe is still in STEM or science. And Tony Gonzalez is an ITSA. Giovanni is a secretary. So everyone's got different jobs here. So our answers are going to look very different. How can you use Google Drive to help your job? What can you put? What can you create? How can you organize your Google Drive to assist in your job so that your job is easier? So Dan wrote, I do Team Drive to share school and tech files, which is great because a Team Drive, there's kind of pros and cons to Team Drive. With Team Drive, if somehow you retire, or if you leave the job, or if you, God forbid, pass away, or anything happens where you are no longer at that job site, Um, all of your files still exist for everyone else you've ever shared them with in Team Drive. However, if they're in your personal drive, they are gone when you leave. So that's interesting. Even if I'm the owner and I shared it with you, because I'm the owner, those documents disappear. So things to know. But also interesting is that if you're not part of my team, you're not going to get there from here. You can't access my Team Drive files. So yes, you can always change the ownership on the file, Martha. That is exactly correct. And that's what a lot of people do. We also have a gentleman who is able to give access to that user's files to someone else for 30 days or however long you need, and then terminate or archive those files or that account. So interesting ways to get around that. I still prefer normal Google Drive as opposed to Team Drive. I've found a lot of barriers that I can't really get around with Team Drive. So I try and stay away from that. So the flexibility to access your files in multiple places. That's exactly correct, Christine. And I have to share a quick story. I live in Jupiter. I went to Water's Edge Elementary, which, if any of you know, is as far southwest as you can possibly go. And I get there, and if you know me, you know I carry around a backpack, which has my life in it. And if I have the backpack, I can pretty much do anything, anywhere, technology-wise, and present anything. Well, my backpack was in Jupiter. Somehow it never made it from my house to my car. And now I'm at Water's Edge, and I'm supposed to present in 5 minutes. Panic, stress, sweat dripping down my face. I log into Google Drive. Voila, there's my presentation. I don't have to worry about it. Somehow, by the grace of God, I had put it in my Google Drive before. This was years ago, before we were actually even using Google Drive, and it saved me. So that was definitely a gift, and saved me and allowed me to present my presentation. So that was good. So Google Drive is awesome. It also is a curse, because as a Palm Beach County employee, I can be home doing my work too, because you can get, like Tasha said, Google Drive anywhere, any device, anytime. So it's a curse and a blessing. Moving on. What do you think makes the best search engine in the world? And I know all of you are going to say the same answer on this, so I'm not even going to have you type it. Google. So when I'm in the search engine in Google, I can type the one word that's a part of my Google Drive or the document within my Google Drive and find that Google Drive. Yes, Dan, as long as you have internet access, it'll work. Yep. So Google is definitely a great search engine, and it works, that search engine, not only in Google land on the internet when you're searching for things, but also in your drive, in your mail, what have you. If there is a word, like for example, let's say you are looking for something about lunch. If I just type the word lunch in that search engine, any email, any document, any Google Hangout that had the word lunch in it will pop up. So it's pretty powerful in its searching capabilities. Okay, so how do I get to Google Drive? So the app selector, we also call that the Rubik's Cube. We also call that the waffle iron. We also call that Brady Bunch. We have so many names. So click that, go to Drive. Or you can go to the portal and you can search for Drive. Or you can type the URL drive.google.com. Now, you do have to be signed in to get to your Google Drive, obviously. But if you're not, it should prompt you to do so. Okay, there are 2 ways to view all of your Google Drives. You can have it on grid view, which will basically show you this, which is a short little snippet. These are all folders. If they were actual documents, they would show me a preview of the document as well. Or list view. And this is a list view. So if you're on grid view, or list view, it's going to give you the option to go to grid view. And if you're on grid view, it's going to give you the option to go to list view. So it kind of seems backwards. But list view I like because it shows you who the owner is, the last modification, and the file size, and the name. So I'm personally a fan of list view. You may be a fan of grid view. Totally up to you. But there are 2 ways to view it. Dan wrote in the comments that he uses Drive to save his phone camera images. That is awesome, Dan, as long as they are work related. If they are not work related, get yourself a personal Gmail account, download Google Photos, and anything that you take on your phone, iPhone, Android, doesn't matter, will automatically save to Google Photos. It is unlimited. Oh, everybody's writing unlimited size. You are exactly correct. I didn't even ask the question yet. I'm wondering, why are they saying unlimited? I didn't read the slide. Yes, you have unlimited space in your Google Drive. Back to the photo thing though, the camera, the Google Photos is also unlimited. It does not save it in the high res format, but it saves it in a resolution that is perfect for what you need. I'm so glad you read, Dan. I didn't read yet, but I'm glad you did. Okay, so yes, you have unlimited space in your Google Drive. If you get that email that says you're over the limit, please mark it as spam and move on because you will never be over the limit. Okay, so this is the coolest part, I think. Let's say that you're working at home or working at your desktop. We have been trained to save everything into our My Documents folder. Well, that's great, but your My Documents is at work and only at work. So what you can do, and let me just open this up real quick, I believe. Oh, I don't have Drive open, so let's open Drive real quick. And I'm going to slide that over here just for a sec. So I'm going to my Rubik's Cube. There's my Drive. It's going to pop up. And unfortunately, I don't have any folders here, but let's pretend. Let's see if there's a folder in here. Here's a folder. So I can take that folder and oh, maybe I can't. Let's do this. File Explorer, here's some. So I can take the folder and drag it in, and look how it says plus copy. And if I want that whole folder to come in here, all I have to do is drop the files to instantly upload them. And everything from my 3D object folder will automatically save to my Google Drive folder. So you are welcome to do that with your My Docs folder. It should keep the file structure. And I will caution you, I have noticed when I've done that, certain folders within the folders do not sometimes populate. You may want to do a small amount at a time as opposed to a large amount. That way you can be sure that everything moves the way it's supposed to move. I think that's probably safer, especially since you have lots of files, I'm sure, in your My Docs folder. But that's a great way to organize it. I also am a fan of starring things. So everything that I frequently use, so here's my webinar folder, my Trailblazer folder, anything I use frequently is in here. And you can see it's not very long, but these are the things that I use almost daily. And so those are in my starred folder. Oftentimes people share things with you and you can never find them again. Those are in your shared with me folder. So unless you have something that was shared with you, and I don't even know who Dakota Berry is, but let's look. So, oh, you know what? I'm a part of someone's classroom, and that's why all of this is coming up. So these are all student images. So let's say that this is one of my images. No, bad example. Hold, please. This one. So this is a file that a student shared with me that I want to save to my drive. It is not automatically saved to my drive. It will always be in the shared with me, but it will not be in my drive. So to get it in my drive, normally, and this is kind of fat. Hold on, let me make it smaller. Control minus makes that whole screen smaller. There you go. And now, oh, it says it's in a folder right now. And if it wasn't in a folder, so this is in my classroom folder because it's part of a Google Classroom that I'm in. If it wasn't, there would be a little drive icon with the plus sign. So anything with the drive icon with the plus sign means it's not saved in your Google Drive, but you do have access to view it. So if you want to make sure it stays in your Google Drive, you would want to hit that drive with the plus sign, and that would get that in there for you. I'm trying to find if I have anything that would fit that bill, and I don't know that I do, so we're going to just skip over that. Let's go back to my webinar real quick and put me back on track. Let's see what else we need. I know it's 8:47. Oh, we're not at the beginning. Give it just a second to load. There we go. So drag and drop them. If they're non-Google files, Word, PDFs, PowerPoints, etc., you will need to open them with that program. So you probably want to, hopefully that's viewable for you now. So you probably want to convert them to Google Drive files so that you can edit them and change them and what have you. There is an add-on that you can get to make it so that you can view non-Google files on the Chromebooks. It's, I believe, an extension, so you can just search for that. And converting files as you add them. So if I'm in my Google Drive and I go to my gear, to my settings gear, and I go to settings, there's not a lot of settings, but the convert uploads box, if that's checked, and I go to add a Microsoft Word document, it will automatically convert it to a Google Docs document so that I can then make copies and edit and what have you. Now, a lot of you are thinking, oh no, it's going to, what's it called? Change all the formatting and all the everything. 99% of the time, it's almost the same. There may be minor tweaks you need to make, but almost always it is close to perfect. I glanced over at the chat window and I saw Dan Henderson says, once you open it, it's in your drive. Well, that's not exactly correct. When you open something that's shared with you, it is not in your drive unless you hit that little triangle with the plus sign. It stays in the other person's drive and it allows you to view it, but it doesn't want to clutter up your drive with things that you may never look at again. Okay, so let's say done here. And let's move on here. So I think, let's present. So there's that convert button we just talked about. You also have the ability to turn it on offline so that if you want to edit things while you're offline, the second you become online, it will sync for you and make everything back to where it was or back to matching. So that's also a new feature. So new files. So to make new files, you would select new, and let's go back to the live version. So we would select new. It looks a little different. We know that there's folders, and that's how we're going to organize things. We can upload files and file upload or just drag and drop like you saw earlier. So Google Docs is the equivalent to Word. Sheets is the equivalent to Excel. Slides is the equivalent to PowerPoint. I think I can hear a lot of you saying this with me. Google Forms is a great way to take in data and ask students questions. A lot of people use these as lesson launchers and as exit tickets. Real easy to use. You can even add your own little Google Form questions in Google Classroom. So you don't necessarily have to make a form. You can just add questions in classrooms if you'd like. Google Drawings is kind of cool. It's not freehand, or at least not on a computer. It may be on a touch screen. I'm not 100%, but it's all of these are collaborative and they allow you to interact and build things together. So whether they're doc sheets, slides, or drawings, you can do that. The next is Google Maps, which is cool. You can make like a virtual field trip if you want. You can go to the, I forget, with the little person where you're the street view, and you can actually stand on the street you're looking at and you can see what's going on, which is really nice. You can make a Google site, which is a website. And then all of these below here are apps and extensions that I personally have added on. And you can see you can connect even more apps if you'd like to. Okay. I believe the next thing on here is sharing. Begin and start sharing. So collaboration. So I think the biggest part about Google Docs is that you can collaborate with anyone, anywhere, at any time. So if you're both awake, I can share this with people in Europe. I can share this with people in Hawaii, and we can collaborate and learn from each other, which is really nice. We can build together. What's also nice is there's a history on almost every single thing Google Drive so that I can see who did what when. Because I know the number one thing that we don't like is when we make that group assignment and Tasha does all the work and Jessica and Melissa sit there and twiddle their thumbs and talk about boys instead of doing any work as well. And then all three of them get an A when Tasha did the whole thing. So Google history, or I'm sorry, history allows you to see what happened when always. And so for this, you can say, I think it's under file, version history, and you can see the version history. It's going to show you who did what when, and you can see nitty gritty details, exactly what change was made. And obviously, if there was more people other than me creating this, we could monitor those changes as well. And I can even restore that version if I need to, which is nice. Okay, so let's talk about sharing for just a moment. How can I share? So when you share something, users can view, edit, or comment on your document, depending upon what it is. On Google Docs, commenting is an option. On the others, it's either view or edit. You can send that sharing feature via email, or you can invite them via, like, I think it's a chat kind of function, or with a URL. So all of those are possible. Oop, I went too far. So sharing is easy. So this is really where the heart of Google lies, and the rules are the same for docs, sheets, slides. It changes just a tad in forms. Drawing, I believe, is the same as this as well. So if I hit that share button, this is where it all comes in. So this is the quick, easy display, right? So it says it's shared with these people. So if I click advanced, then I get the nitty gritty. So it's only shared with specific people. It's shared with me, and then my personal me, and Terry, and Denise isn't even here, and Rebecca and John and Adam and a few other people, right? Now, if I want someone not to have rights, I can either give them the expiration date, or after 30 days, they can no longer see it, or I can make it 7 days or a custom date. I can also make it so that they only have comment access or view access. So I have all these options per individual. So if I wanted to add, there you go. So if I wanted to add Tasha onto here, I could do so. And you can see that she's having edit access. She may need comment or view access instead. I can leave it as edit, but I have the options to do the other. Okay, so I can notify people and add that message. And so I can write, here's today's webinar, or whatever I want. I can also send a copy to myself, so I have proof that I sent that. Know that when you send messages in here, it comes from Google, not from you. So there is no history, if you will. It only goes from Google. So be mindful of that. I'm going to cancel this out. And I want to go to the top, because this, I think, is where all the power is. So right now, specific people only have access to this. If I click change, this looks weird. Oh, my personal is the owner, and I can't change the owner. So let's go to, apparently I made this on my personal account. So let's go to a different one. My drive, let's find something quick. I can share that with you. Trying to figure out what I can put up here and share with y'all. So if I click share, and I know our clock is ticking, we got 3 minutes left. So I click share. It's taking its sweet time. Knows we're under pressure with time. Okay, so I click advanced again. And now here's where all of the rules are. So if it's on, anyone in the entire world can see it and find it. They can search for it. The second means that anyone can find it if they have the link. Parents, stakeholders, employees, everyone. This next one, on school district of Palm Beach County, means that if I work in Palm Beach County, I can search my Google Drive and I can find any file and access it. I may not be able to edit it, but I can at least view it. The third or the fourth one means that if I work at the school district and I have the link, I can get it. And the last one means only specific people. So notice that once you choose one up here, then you can also give them view, comment, or edit access. Okay, so you have all those options. So this is the power of Google Drive. Being able to share collaboratively, work on things together, know who's doing what. These other two options here are pretty powerful. So let's talk about them for just a second and then we'll get to the homework. If you check this, you are preventing editors from changing access and adding new people. So that means if I check that box, all of the people that I shared this document with cannot add other people and cannot give other people permissions or change other people's permissions. The bottom one disables the ability to download, print, or copy, which means I've made that test. I've given it to my kids. I do not want them to be able to download the test or print the test or copy the test or share the test at all. I'm going to check those two boxes and make sure that I am protected. Okay. So real quick, we're going to go back here while I read some comments. Is there an app compatible to Microsoft Publisher? I do not believe so, Betty. So yeah, there are workarounds, there's templates and things like that, but there's nothing perfect. So in Team Drive, how can you alert members each time you add a new folder or important doc? So I don't know about Team Drive, but if I have a file, so let's say it's the webinar, I can file email collaborators. So every time I add things, I can email the collaborators. In the actual Google Drive folder, I do not believe there's a way to, let's see, there's no email collaborators. So you would have to alert them with comments maybe. I don't know. There's not a great solution to that, Betty. Tasha says there's a way to have notifications from settings, but is that every time I add a document to the folder, it's going to notify you? I don't believe it does that. She's looking. Send emails about updates. Oh, I missed one. If view only, download or save to your drive and can edit for self. Yeah, you can edit it for yourself, but other people cannot, Dan. Send emails about updates, regular email. Yeah, you can email people regularly, but I don't think if you add things to folders, it does not update you. To the best of my ability, it does not do that. Okay. Moving on. Any questions in addition to what's already there, please go ahead and type them. And let's go over the homework real quick. It's the same as always. So make sure you're signed up in ELM. You do it one time this year, and it will sign you up for all of the classes from now to December 21st. Come to whatever you want, miss whatever you want. If you've already done something, you can always skip it. The way I'm going to grade that is at the end, December 21st, I'm going to count up how many sign-ins Dan has per week, or how many weeks Dan signed in, and I'm going to give him a point per week. And then I'm going to look at all of the homework attachments he's got, and he can receive a point per week of those. And I'm going to put his points in, and then that's it. So that's how that works. There is one survey that you need to complete for all of the training. So December 21st or prior to that, please make sure that survey is complete. And that's just my survey on how I deliver the PD and anything you think that I could improve on. Complete the implementation homework. So you are going to go to your Google Drive and you are going to take a screenshot showing me that you have learned something about Google Drive. It's up to 2 points per week, and all homework is due the 21st. And I got 2 more questions. So Martha wrote and shared with me, is there a way to organize files or hopefully make a folder? I don't think so. I think if it's shared with me, you just search by name. If you want it in your own, you can add it with the little Google plus sign and put it in a folder in your own Google Drive folder. But shared with me is just a list of things that people shared with you. It's some of it, like you saw, is already organized for you. I just went over the homework. And I got a thank you from Judy. So that's really it for today. Our next training next week is October 16th on Discovery Ed. A lot of you skip those, which I hope you don't this week. Discovery Education has a bunch of stuff that's super cool. Our engagement challenge just started, which is so awesome. So our engagement challenge is a great way for your students to earn prizes and participate in some fun activities. So for example, this, and I'm going to paste the link for the engagement challenge in there for you. And I'm also going to show you. So the engagement challenge this week is on SOS strategies. So SOS is Spotlight on Strategies. So instead of just reading that chapter in social studies, I'm going to put 4 things up on the board. 3 of them are going to be true. 1 of them is going to be a lie, or 3 of them are going to be lies and 1 of them is going to be true. And you, as the student, have to figure out which one is which and correct anything that's false to make it true. So now, instead of just teaching you, the chapter in social studies, you are reading for meaning. You are digging deep into finding out what it is that's important, because we basically pointed those 4 important facts out for you, right? Because we made them 3 truths and a lie. Oh, I'm over time. So anyway, SOS strategies, we give tons of prizes. They're really great. Please participate and share that with your staff. It's all over Facebook, Twitter. Mark Howard sent a text out to all principals, and I will actually send one out to all of you so that you can forward for me. Thank you so much. And Nancy, I am stuck running to schools today, so I can't come see you today, but I will try tomorrow. I promise. Thank you for coming. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thanks so much.